Hold on.
Babs Keating's saying about Palm Sunday and Good Friday being 5 days apart. You know, when things are going well, you get blown up massively. When things are going bad, you get slated massively, and you're probably never as good as you're blown up to be and never as bad as you're slated to be.
And I think what this team has brought to the Six Nations this year was they had a belief, no matter what the score was, they could always win the game. And as long as they were in the game with 10, 15 minutes to go, they had the chance of winning it. And that happened in Scotland, but probably earlier than that length in the game, and they still had the belief in the Welsh game. But the intensity going into it, felt by everyone, was huge.
Wales have game breakers and have the ability to score tries. Ireland must be aware, but they're hunting in packs.
There's 30-odd minutes to go, and you just have to settle down and play your way through the rest of it. You know they're going to have their good patches. Good games are like that. They go in swings and roundabouts. You have to play it different ways at different times. Good sides change the way they play, so you have to change the way you defend. They'll change the way they defend, and so you have to change the way you attack.
For Shanklin Fitzgerald, knew he was isolated.
Why at that point did Ireland not close it out? Because it should have been closed out, shouldn't it?
Well, they're away from home, and Wales are a good team, and they're the reigning European champions at this stage, and they're the only team that had beaten a Southern Hemisphere side the previous November, and the Millennium Stadium had become a bit of a fortress. And then there was Wayne Barnes as refereeing, and the penalties just started to flow against Ireland, and Stephen Jones started to eat into the lead, and then mental doubts maybe crept into the Irish team. But that was the biggest single factor, to my way of thinking anyway, was the flow of penalties that suddenly went to Wales. And I'm a firm believer in Murray Mexted's phrase, the ebb and flow of psychic energy. You know, it happens in games. Once the penalties and they started to get some 3-pointers on the board, it started to flow back towards Wales again.
Wales control that scrum.
It's a tentative moment, obviously, when the scoreline is close at a stage of a match like that. But it's to, you know, keep a cool head and just practice, you know, what you've done every single day on the training pitch and try and implement it into that game.
Ball in hand!
Against Wales, of all people, you don't want to be trying to close up shop. They've got so many finishers, so many dangerous players.
We did speak about trying to not go into our shells and defend the lead. We tried to talk about continuing to play the same attacking style that we had for the whole, whatever it was, 55 minutes up to that point.
Oh, terrific work.
But credit to Wales, they did come back.
It was the highs and lows of everybody. I mean, not just the coaching staff, the players, supporters. You sort of remember every bit of that last 5 minutes of the pitch, and you know, that's, I suppose, what you spend time in rugby for those moments.
You've played 70 minutes, so you know you don't have the same emotions as the people in the stands. It's so much easier being out there than it is watching.
That's just scramble. That's just, once he breaks that first tackle, it's get him down, stop him, don't give away penalties. Because it's one team trying to hold on to make history. And it really was just frantic.
Phillips, drop it goal, Stephen Jones, this for the lead! He's got it! He's got it!
They're the championship moments. In a way, the experience you have as a coach sort of comes through in those moments as well. You know, what messages not to give, rather than what messages do you give. They're in the middle of the battle. They'll work their way out of it.
5.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes.
But yeah, of course, it should never have come to this. And you've got doubts now, and this is dramatic.
To come back and have to get a score with whatever it was, 4.5 or 5 minutes remaining.
There was no panic in the team. Like, we knew it was just a case of getting down to their end of the field again, like, and try and get hold of the ball. It wasn't like it was a minute to go. I knew there was a few minutes to go, and that there was time.
And it's gone in on the full.
You sense they would have a belief out there in the team, and talking to them, listening to them afterwards, they did. They regrouped, and they'd fully expected and believed in themselves that they could go down there. And they had done this before against Wales in the Millennium Stadium.
Like, once Stephen Jones got the drop goal, I was convinced I was going to have an impact on the game. I thought it would be a penalty.
This now is the chance.
We knew we had good guys to take it into contact and retain ball. We knew that it worked well in the championship.
We drilled this in training. We knew different ways that if we were in this sort of position, what we had to do.
You look to O'Gara and you wonder how much pressure can one player...
At that point, are you aware? Do you feel more pressure, or...?
I don't think like that at all. Our mindset is so different to everyone else in the stand. It has to be.
Wallace is helped by Paddy Wallace.
You know, you prepare, and at this stage, probably 10 years of playing. I think you need it, you enjoy it.
Ireland in position.
I think somebody else was lining up behind Rog. Was it Rory Best or something was standing there? And you know, I remember watching Rory back in Portadown College, kicking for goal and stuff, and I would have laughed if the ball had came to him. He would have had a pop at it.
Thought I fancied it, and then I thought, no, maybe I'll not. I'll get out of the way.
It's too near there, you know. It's slow ball, so they're in a loaded start. It's basically one step snap is the technique. The ball is falling away, so it's a poor drop too, but that case...
Fuck. In fairness to Rog, they got out very quickly and he had to kind of scoop it up.
You're just hoping it's going straight.
And you could see the surprise in his face when he got it.
He couldn't believe it, yeah.
We were so shocked.
This must be it for Ronan O'Gara. Drop it goal! Grand Slam at stake!
Good that he could get that in really in his last season.
It was, yeah. I was really happy for him, you know. Really happy for him.
Still there is time for more.
We've still got 2 minutes to go.
We didn't expect any other twists, you know. Kind of catch the restart, and as you know, there's been many a twist and turn in this campaign.
I haven't watched this for ages.
Sometimes you get so engrossed in the game from the bench, you become a bit of a supporter just watching the game. And, you know, I got to the, I don't know, what, 70 odd minutes, and all of a sudden